It's a little cloudy tonight, but right now we have a nice clear view of the moon. This is live. I'm seeing about a 5 millisecond delay from what the telescope sees. Just real quick, we have a CGXL mount from Celestron, and on top of that we have the Astrotech AT130 EDT APO telescope. There comes the clouds. We have on top of that the William Optics Zenith Star 81, and then a Svebny 50mm guide scope. We have the ASI Air Plus with a piggyback Ethernet module, or a Wi-Fi module. It's basically an extender, which I'm tethering to and then repeating the ASI Air's Wi-Fi signal with the bigger router. So I'm able to have a nice wireless signal inside on the couch when the telescope, which is outside, way out there, is cable free. So other than that, we got everything hooked up. You know, there's a very specific sequence you have to do with the Celestrons. And the CGXL, let me tell you, way better experience than the AVX. The AVX is like step by step. You have to do things in a very specific order, and there's many YouTube videos about that. But the CGX, I just fire up the CGX, do a quick solar align, and then plug in the ASI Air, and it works every time. There's no specific step-by-step process besides aligning the mount first, which is like a quick align or last alignment. Since I have the mount set up permanently in the backyard, anchored to the ground with some spiral stakes, stainless steel zip ties, 2,000-pound rope. Everything is very secure. That telescope doesn't move, and I have it covered 365 days a year with a 365 Telegizmos weatherproof cover. So that's the setup right now. It is just past a half moon. Of course, this is reversed, so if you flip this whole thing upside down, that's what the moon really looks like in the sky, but telescopes flip stuff. But this is the ASI Air Plus platform right now. I'm not on the beta. This is just a simple platform, and we're looking at the moon. I have everything set up pretty nicely. I have the focus decent, and I am this is my settings right now for the exposure and gain. 1 millisecond exposure, trying to get the fastest shots as possible to get lucky imaging. 1 millisecond exposures with a high gain, and the moon looks kind of green because we have the Batter Moon and Sky Glow filter, so that's helping us out with some of the light pollution and the infrared and things like that. I have infrared cameras all over our house, so we really need that filter all the time, or else. Yeah, I've put a camera outside and it didn't have an infrared filter, and I pointed it at the house, and oh my gosh, it looked like someone had a spotlight shining in the backyard. It was terrible. So UV IR cut filters, very, very important. Don't forget to use them. So now we have some cloud cover, and just in case, I'm going to raise the exposure, see if it's just a thin layer or if it's a thick layer. It looks like a pretty thick layer. So but in the meantime, we can check out what's going on here. We're in video mode right now, so I can just watch what's happening and show you a live moving view. But we are at a 1080p resolution. We can get in closer if we go to 480. It's kind of like a artificial zoom to look at certain details. Hopefully the clouds move out of the way. Okay, yeah, so you can see the moon is much closer now. Focuser, very important. I did not run an autofocuser routine, but that's okay. on the moon, it's pretty easy to visualize your focus point. Ooh, my exposure's still high. We have this little box up here, and this tells us our current R rate and right ascension or declination. And then we have the speed of the mount. So at 2x, it's a very nice slow movement. You don't want to have this up high when you're on target. If you accidentally press one of the buttons, you could whip your object right out of the screen. So 2 or 3 is usually nice. Up top we have our information and settings. We have the info button with all these random things. The only thing you really want to use here is the log. Experimental features you want to check every once in a while, and then you want to submit any feedback. Then we have our storage settings. I currently do not have a USB in there right now. I was just testing the Ethernet that I fixed, but usually there would be a second option here showing you where you can save your images to USB or this one. Next up we have the electronic autofocuser. This thing is awesome. If you can find one, or if you see a used one, especially the new 5-volt version, I highly recommend you get it. It is a very nice device. And it allows you to do remote imaging and focusing and get your focus point really nice. Sometimes it is so hard to achieve focus, even with a button-off mask, when you're imaging, because delays. The stars are sometimes so dim when you have a filter on, so it's really hard to see. So having this do the work for you is really nice. I didn't really change any. Well, actually I did. When you put the focuser on a telescope, you want to bring the focuser rack, the part that goes in and out. You gotta be careful with that. The part that goes in and out all the way to the base of the telescope, so it can't go any further when you try to rack it. And then you want to set your current position info here to 0, and you want to reverse, because if you don't reverse and you try to go higher than 0, you can't go negative. If you try to go higher than 0, it's going to be trying to focus into the telescope, and it's not going to work. It's just going to beep a whole bunch at you. So you have to reverse it so that when you go up, the focus tube goes out and you can focus that way. But you can set it at 0, you can set it at wherever you want. Once you get to your focus position, you can even set your focus point at 0. And then you just have to move this guy here down to 0, and then you should be near focus. But let me go a little bit lower, 1 millisecond. We're blown out here. Woo, there we go. You can set your slow step or fast step right here. When you tap the up arrow once, how far is it going to go? It's at 3,713 now. If I tap the up arrow once, it's going to go to 3,763. So that is 50, which is exactly what I have set here. And then if you go to the fast, you just tap on the slow, fast. You go to the fast, that is going to be 400. You can change those numbers to be much slower, much fine-tuned, or much larger, however you want. I don't know how to do backlash yet, forgive me. You can turn on the beep on or off whenever it finishes focusing or turning. Every time you press the arrow, it's going to beep. You can turn that on or off. I don't have a filter wheel. I've never had one. I just use the Starizona filter slider or the one of the other ones. Next we have the mount. So you have the mount here. This sometimes is very difficult to get, but it tells you all the information you need right here at this little arrow. Well, most of the information. It tells you the steps to connect. What I highly recommend is the first thing you do before you hook up your ASI Air is connect your telescope to the Celestron firmware manager and update it. Update the hand controller, update the mount. My mount, I thought it was updated. It was going crazy. It would connect fine, everything looked fine, and then all of a sudden the mount would just take off running straight into the ground or straight into the tripod leg. And the Astrotech 130 EDT is massive, massive refractor. And so, yes, I can run into the ground. It is very important that you update your mount to the current settings because that fixes all the bugs. As soon as I did it, oh my gosh, everything went perfectly smoothly and I was so happy. Anyways, this is how you control or connect the mount. You could turn on or off tracking here. You can turn on the mode of tracking for the stars, the sun, or the moon. You can go to your home position here, go into meridian flip settings. The ASI Air is such an easy, amazing system if you can get it dialed in correctly. And then this is the guide. I have a guide camera up there right now, but I'm not connecting to it. That's how you just change all your settings. That's how you find it. You can see I have the 120 mini plugged in right now, and I can turn it on and change the settings, change the calibration step, all these types of things. But the main thing you really want to turn on and make sure is on is dithering. That really takes care of a lot of the noise for you. Then you can go to your camera settings. Right now we have the 294 MC Pro with the focal length of the Astrotech at 912 millimeters. I don't know if they make a focal reducer for it, but we have a Hyperstar, so we don't need any of that. This is my high magnification scope. Even though it's not really high, it gives me a great magnification on many objects. And then you can turn on or off cooling. You can customize file names. You can go to advanced settings and do mono. You can do continuous preview. You always want to have that on. And then next up, we have the Wi-Fi settings. And you can also control the side outlet 12 volts. Right now we have the camera plugged into number 1 here. You can see we're at 2.4 gigahertz and the CPU temp. You can see the input voltage to check your battery or your cable is working well. You can check your amps and your total powers. And this right here, the 28 watts, I can calculate with the power station or battery station that I have out there how long it'll last for. I do have the solar panel connected to the battery station, so every day it recharges itself, and it's just amazing. And that battery station is also on a tripod mount. It's big and heavy, but it's on a PA system speaker stand. And I have it strapped onto that with the tele-vue small cover on it, so it can stay out there 365 days a year, and I can have continuous, reliable power. It is an Anchor Powerhouse 7 or 800. It was their biggest one 2 years ago. Then you can do your Wi-Fi settings and everything. One thing I do want to tell you is if you have the opportunity to get a long Ethernet cable, string it through the house or go through the attic up into the ceiling and straight down to the router, which is what I did. Do it. Plugging an Ethernet cable into your ASI Air will dramatically improve everything. Your speed, your reliability, and the time it takes to set up. With the Wi-Fi, you can connect to it, but the range isn't so good. And also, you'll get a lot of Wi-Fi drops, and you have to, before you can even connect, you have to change your Wi-Fi settings to the ASI system. And when you do that, you lose actual internet capability. So you can't go to Google and check what your focal length is. You can't go to watch a YouTube video and listen to an info. The Wi-Fi has limits, and it's not very reliable. Let me tell you that. I don't know why it's working pretty well right now. But Ethernet, you don't even have to change Wi-Fi. You can stay on your home network. You don't have to worry about looking at anything with the Wi-Fi. All you have to do is turn on your iPad or tablet, press the ASI Air app, and go. It's already connected because it's already connected to your home Wi-Fi. So you can stay, you can browse the internet, you can control your camera, all at the same time, and it's amazing. Ethernet, thumbs up, always, way to go. Alright, so the moon is completely covered up right now, so we're going to go to my favorite feature, which is the Tonight's Best and the planetarium system. So last night I was imaging Andromeda, but this gives you, for your date and time and location, the best objects above, so that you can actually find something cool. and image it. So that's one way to do it. You can just go to tonight's best. You can go to different things over here, Messier objects, double stars, anything you want. We're on the move. So 3 you can see is a nice speed to cruise around and find different locations and features. Alright, so real quick we're going to go to preview again. We want to take an image just to have an image up on screen, but this down here, that is your planetarium, so that you can see exactly what's in the sky, just like Celestial Sky Portal, Sky Safari, Sky Eye, Sky Guide, Star Hunter, any of those planetarium softwares. So right now, I moved to the moon manually because it couldn't plate solve the moon. It was just overexposed, so I found the moon myself. That's why it's down here and not up there. So the blue is where the telescope is actually thinks it's pointing. The red is where we could point, where we could choose to point. You can see we have northeast, southwest. Looking north, we have the Andromeda Galaxy somewhere over here. We have the Ring Nebula. We have lots of little objects like M33. Oh, nice, I called it. This is what I was also imaging last night. It was really nice. But if I wanted to go to M33, all I had to do was press this down here, go to cross. Or if I know that I'm on the moon, like I am now, I can press align and it will actually, it will change this blue one to where my red one is. Align scope to FOV cross, field of view cross. Boom. Look how easy that is. And now we're actually on the moon. Then we can zoom back out. How about we go to Saturn? Actually, that might make the telescope flip all the way back around. Let's go to Jupiter. Zoom in to get a better target. Alright. It's gonna be terrible, but let's just go to it. Boom. Ah, dang it, I forgot. I want to zoom out so you can see the blue square move across the sky like that. But you can't zoom out or move once you start the go-to. But you can press this arrow back here and go back to the main screen. So you just saw that the blue moved to the red, and we can actually see, turn off the equatorial coordinates. We can turn them on or off. We can turn off the sky, and we can search for different objects. So right now it is testing and censoring to plate solve Jupiter, and hopefully it'll do it. If not, and if it's too, oh nice. Usually it's too bright or overexposed to see anything, so. But this is 5-second exposure, which is going to be very bright. We could do video mode and see if that will work, but so yeah, it's really easy and really fun to find stuff. You have everything here set up for you. You can change all types of settings. You can really play with it. You can plate solve. You can detect your star sizes. You can see your average star size. You can guide and go to the guiding screen. The ASI air system is absolutely incredible. Let's check out Jupiter real quick, and then I think we'll call it. It's been 26 minutes already, which means I gotta go pick up dinner. So let's raise the exposure just a tad, lower the gain just a tad. The seeing is really bad. All that wobbly atmospheric distortion is really, really bad. So I'm pretty good with equipment and things like that. But when it comes to processing, oh man, I'm terrible. I try, but I'm just terrible. I haven't had the time to just sit down for 20 hours at a time to process a single image. I like quick, fast, immediate results or slight processing. Let's pump up the gain to see some of the moons. There they are. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working. I have to go pick up dinner, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. My name is Carlos Aragon, CEO of Reach for the Stars. Go check us out at www.rftstars.com. Everyone have a wonderful day, and I will see you out there under the stars.